Welcome, I'm Rich Brzezinski, and this is a special news segment.
But we cannot gather. What kind of worship service we could have? The answer is family worship.
Welcome to a special news segment here on UBF TV. Today we have a special interview with missionary Isaac Choi. We are so honored to have him, and he will be talking today to us about family worship. He has been serving as the CBF Children's Bible Fellowship Director here at the Chicago Ministry for the past 40 years. He has been working on teacher and parent education, educating church teachers and parents for family discipleship, and he has visited and lectured to more than 130 UBF chapters for the last 7 years after retirement. What an amazing retirement. And now he's working on the UBF headquarters New Generation Department. We are so thankful and honored to have you today with us, Missionary Isaac, especially as we're talking about this time of the COVID-19 coronavirus. We have a lot of parents who are at home with their children more than they were before, and this is probably a good time to have family worship. Can you tell us why this could be a good time?
As you know, that nowadays COVID-19 coronavirus spreading so rapidly. So every day is more than 100 cases is popped up in America. Not only America, but also whole world. So health care officials and political leaders, they developed how to stop this spreading coronavirus. There is no medication yet. How to do it? They came up with social distance policy. 1 week ago, they recommended church limited 250 worshippers. And later on, they changed 50. Now, they said no more than 10 members gathering. In this situation, what we can do in our worship service? As you know, there's a Christian has a Bible study and worship service is a main part of Christian life. But we cannot gather. We cannot have a congregational worship service. What you can do? Many Christians is wonder what kind of worship service we could have. So they come up with a live spring worship service, watching screen, hearing from audio, and had a worship. Here is, I can say that the answer is family worship. Did you hear about the family worship in your Christian life?
Not too much.
Not too much. Yes. I traveling all over the world and ask them, do you know about family worship? Family worship? That's a new word? No, this is not new word. This came from 2 centuries. We are worshipers of God. Not just at the church worship, but also our life itself have a worship service. Because we are created and recreated as worshipers of God. So not just at the church, but also through our lifetime. Life, every day's life, it should be our worship. So our life is a continuation of our worship. So in that sense, our family have to have family worship. It's
true.
Fit to none more than 10 members gathering. Is that true?
Right.
Yes. So this family worship is Bible-oriented, biblical. At the same time, early Christian church practice this one. So, as we look at study the Christian history, church history, we can see that Europe really prospered Christianity from 15th century. So they established many famous seminaries and produced many world-renowned theologians. At the same time, as a byproduct, they sent many missionaries all over the world to fulfilling world mission. So, if you go to England, you can see church is everywhere. But now, this family worship become like a forgotten grace.
Right, yeah.
So, that's why it is good time to restore this family worship, which was proven in Christian history and gave us many benefits, especially revival of Christian church. So, in this epidemic situation, family worship really encourage our children and our parents, family members, to have faith in God and build up their life of faith.
That's so true. Thank you so much for trying to help us restore this historical grace that God gave us. So can you tell us, what can you tell parents sitting at home right now, watching around the world? What should they tell their children spiritually, maybe about this time of the crisis and being at home, how it relates to family worship?
Parents has not much time with the children because everybody engaged in busy life schedules. But this time, not many parents going to work. They stay home, as well as our children's school closed. They have to stay home. What they want to do? They watch TV all day long and pounding their keyboards, computer all the time. But this is a God-given opportunity that parents engage in children's spiritual education so that they can teach Bible their children and worship together and pray together. That way they can build up family worship and family discipleship. But thing is, we never heard about family worship, so we don't know how to do it this way, family worship. That is why I came up here today, putting our family worship presentation at the UBF website so that those who have an interest and they don't know how to do it, they can look at that, read about, and find out that one, and apply this family worship in their family. This is a God-given good opportunity. You know, adverse situation, when we hold on this adverse situation to the end, what we can be? We are despair, nothing to do, boring, frustrated, everything. But through this family worship, we can turn this crisis as good opportunity to growing faith, family faith, that we can grow. I think that this is family worship is a good answer in this generation.
Yes, that's so true. Thank you for sharing that this is actually a God-given opportunity, not just maybe an accident or inconvenience that something happened. And you said that even if people don't think that they could do it, you put some resources on our website that they can look at. Can you tell us maybe some of the challenges that parents will come across, because maybe they might be discouraged, and if these challenges come up, should they just give up, or what should they do when maybe the children start fighting and arguing and maybe things aren't working out the way that they planned.
As I serving in the CBN ministry last 40 years, I learned children's education, it must come from parents because children stay at the home. At the same time, children trust their parents 100%. They have some survey for children, how much you believe your church pastor's word. They said less than 20%. But
Wow.
they trust, believe their parents' word more than 90%. This shows that how much parents' education, spiritual education is important and impact to our children. So, in that sense, we have to teach this our children. But our children has no conception about God. As you know, they know what they see. They know this is a pen. Then, okay, we see this is a pen. But we say, oh yeah, pen looks like a long sleeve, right? And there's a ball pen. They don't believe at all. More than that, how can they believe God, invisible God? Even adult has a problem, that one. So what can I do in that situation? Because children trust the parent. So what can I say? Parents say something about, oh yeah, God looks like a grandfather, looks like in heaven. No, they don't believe. They believe through parents' action. In other words, practice. When they pray, when they study Bible, and children look at that. Why? My mother and father all the time pray, holding hand pray, and they study Bible and Father God. They think, oh, there is some, where is God there? Because they trust and the parents. So they began to believe that parents, what they are doing. So that's why parents must show good example. We are easy to say, okay, John, just do it this one. Love your friend and give this friend that is thing. It's easy to say something, but practicing the word of God is not easy. So when parents show that action based on the word of God, children began to realize there is God. And also we must study Bible and follow Him. In that way, we can educate. So that's why in this time, they are staying together home. Good time. This is a golden time. We should not miss this time to educate, spiritual education for our children through Bible study and family worship. Family worship included Bible study. So when we engage in this one, we are fulfilling this one, and also it's a lot of benefit I talk about. There are mostly big three benefits. Number one is through family worship, family members deeper relationship. Nowadays, is grown-up children have a many problem relationship with their parents. Because of their broken relationship, they didn't even believe in God. Okay, I don't trust my parents, so I don't want to believe in God. It's like many relationship was broken. So through family worship, we can mend this relationship, build up bond, solid bond of family relationship. That is number one. Number two, through family worship, we can have a deeper relationship between God and family members. So, in the way, when they have a intimate relationship between family members, if a parent says something about God, they began to listen and build up their relationship. That is began to pile up every day. Think about after 1 year, 365 days of family worship they had, then 365 times they have a worship service and Bible study. Usually we said when we have a Bible study, open Bible and put on the Bible binder. Okay, question number 1, who is God? That kind of we are very easy to practice. But to children, to parents, we don't need to open Bible. We are already educated. So in the way we talk about God. And also we can read the Bible together. When you read the Bible together, children has many questions about Bible, such as some funny question, like how about God is a woman or God is grandpa? That's so funny, but so this kind of question parents have to answer. Okay. So children question, parents answer. With this kind of questions and answer piled up, this is a Bible study, isn't it? Yes. In the way we can have Bible study at the same time. Bible study itself is one of our worship elements. So that's why in this difficult time, through family worship, we can build up these two relationships. Third one is, through family worship, we can make our family godly family. Church is consists of many families. So there are so many godly families, then this church will be strong church. Right? Then this church will do world mission as well as campus mission as well. According to Bible,
Absolutely.
in Old Testament, God commanded parents pass on their faith to their children. This is Old Testament is talk about many places.
Right.
So this is a good time to pass on our faith to our children through family worship. There is many other things, but that is in my lecture. This is 3 things is the most outstanding benefit.
Great. Yeah, that's very true. That parents are big influences for our children. And you said that only 20% believe the pastor, but 90% believe parents. That should be motivation enough for us parents to go and be able to do something like this. Can you tell us what should we do if our children resist? Because we're in this video culture, computer generation, where they maybe want to watch TV, but if we say, oh, let's come and have family worship, sometimes there's going to be resistance and they say no. What should parents do?
That's a good question. That's everywhere have this number 1 question there is. So I studied and investigate. Children like what? They like
Candy food.
Yeah, food.
Food.
So parents have to use that or some game before having family worship. If say, okay, John, come in, we'll have a family worship, then they all run away. They know what is the worship.
Yeah, that's true.
So before that, okay, let's have a game. That's a very fantastic one. Or, okay, let's eat something, food here. You like it. In the way, we can lure them because they're children. Their heart is very simple, We are not deceiving them, but because we love them. In the way, we can approach. That is depend on how much parent to prepare for this family worship. So this is normal. Then we can do one by one. So in the family worship, not just like a church worship, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, something. No. Family worship is based on children's age. We can have a 10 minute or 15 minute. Just a short. Because if you go 5 minutes, no interest, children begin to move around. They make a noise. They throw away. Many things happen. So before that, we have to change the subject. So when do you have this one? First time, very short one. It's a little one, have to 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Oh.
Some a little bit older one, some those who can read the Bible, they can have a 15 minutes or something. The beginning time should be short, so that they may not be bored or distracted. If a distract, that is no more there. So parents must pray about beforehand and study about their children's favor, what they like it. So in that way, we can bring them. After that, family worship grow, children's spiritual understanding is grow, you can gradually increase the family worship time from 10 to 20, 25, 30, whatever.
Oh.
Yeah. The first time you become 30 minutes, they will not come. So first time don't say, we will have a family worship. No. Just it's approach with what they like it. With that, we can approach game or food or something. In that way, we can bring them. Otherwise, we cannot get hold of them.
Wow, we've learned so much today from Missionary Isaac, giving us a history of where family worship came from and why family worship is so important during this time. As you said, the children are home from school. Many parents are working from home, and the children are looking at the parents as one of the most influential figures during this time. Thank you, Mr. Isaac. Anything else you want to share? Any last minute thoughts we should know before we conclude today?
Okay, I'm engaged in this family discipleship, and when I serving CBF last 40 years, I have one question in my mind. That is, how can I raise our children as a godly way? So through Bible studies and outside the conference, I learned that in order to raise our children as a godly, parents must engage in. Because normally children stay at the home until age of 18. So parents must use this time for children's education. Not the school education, but spiritual education. Showing good example to them. We have a many program for children, but they are staying at the home. For example, one day has 24 hours, 8 hours sleeping, 8 hours school, 8 hours stay home. So using this idle 8 hours for engaging spiritual education, so that we can raise our children as a godly children and make a strong church for mission. So what can I do? Family discipleship. My lecture talk about that. To successful family discipleship, we need family worship. This is the most important tool for family discipleship. So I prepared 5 lectures, 2 for teachers, 3 for parents. If we educate parents, they have to show good example for children. They should be faithful to God, right? And they just say, okay, love God. Parents do not do it, then doesn't work at all. Parents show good example. Then they serving God, feeding sheep, and teaching Bible. Then parents' faith grow, and children grow. This first generation, second generation growing together. That's why I'm engaging this teacher and parents education. Teacher's role also very important, but not much, portion-wise, not much like a parent. But teachers also engage in children's education at the church. So children are growing, so teacher must grow. That's why teachers need education, so that they can educate these growing children at the church. So that's why that's a ministry name is teachers and parents education, so-called T&PE, teacher and parent education. With this, I visiting all our co-workers chapters and delivered visiting and pray with them. If they need a lecture, I giving lecture that we can make a strong, godly family eventually, then make a strong church to serve God's, Jesus' world mission purpose and campus mission as well. So that's why I'm engaging this TNP ministry wholeheartedly with my wife, missionary Rebecca. So let's look at this is you just hear about this my saying. It doesn't make sense, I think, to your ears. But come to ubf.org website. Look at family worship is the answer you can find, and read about carefully and understand that content and utilize this according to your family situation. If you practice, I think God will bless you and your family, generation to generation, because God will please this one.
Wonderful. One more question I had that maybe a lot of our viewers have. So many people have grown up with you, Missionary Isaac, as a spiritual father here at our Chicago UBF ministry and been taught the Word of God. Can you tell us, how did you start this? What made you get into this? Because we're in a university Bible fellowship. There's no really children's Bible fellowship that's very well known. I think besides you're the face of CBF worldwide. What made you to get into this?
I am not volunteered this one. So when we arrived 1978 in Chicago, actually we sent our children. At that time, CBF, Chicago CBF was less than 10 children. So we sent them our local church Sunday worship, so that we could engage in campus mission only.
Right.
But when there's a summer came, church put a notice in the church door. Let's meet again at September. So that means Sunday school has a vacation from June to September. So we saw, what can we do our children's spiritual education? So we began to think about the way. So we began to have a CBF ministry building up, but no one has experience or anything. So Dr. Samuel Lee called our family and encouraged to begin Chicago CBF.
Wow.
Just mainly because I was an engineering student, mechanical engineer, and my wife, missionary Rebecca, as a pharmacist. No education at all. But my father-in-law was a primary school principal for 40 years.
Wow.
So Dr. Samuel Lee thought she has some kind of idea for educating children. So he called us to encourage to begin our Chicago CBM. But at that time, I was 34 years old, young missionary. I was going to campus and missionary Bible teaching. So I was reluctant to take that. So I was scratch my head, and he sensed right away, saying that, yes, raising American shepherd is very important. We are missionary. But raising our children as godly way also important.
Yes.
In the ratio is a 50% and 50%. Raising shepherd and raising children is a 50% each. But we came here as a missionary we have priority for raising American Shepherd.
Right.
So in that way, he encouraged me to understand that importance of this CBF ministry. So I began to accept it. So I was this engineer. I have no idea what can I do. So I asked him, should I go to seminary for Christian education, some schooling? He said, no. What can I do? He told me two things. Do it, and if something happens, just pray to God. Then God will give you something. And next, to run the CBF, don't ask money from UBF. So that means CBF must be independent. So we began to begin this CBF ministry. After 10 years, we began to CBF 10 years, I began to realize Dr. Samuel is saying that CBF ministry is very important to continuing next generation the work of God. We need our second generation education. So I began to accept from that time on. So I began to working on. But as a missionary, we have to engage in campus work too. So first to 14 years, we engage in UIC ministry. We began to pioneer with missionary Danielson, James Jong, and Daniel Yang together, our fellowship together, began to pioneer UIC. 14 years passed. It's a weekday campus mission. Weekend, we engage in CBF ministry. And after 14 years, UIC ministry is prospering. So many co-workers all the time engage in UIC. So it's a time to leave this UIC ministry, go to Loyola. So after 14 years, we went to Loyola also 14 years with Pastor Ron and Abraham Lincoln and all, Mark Yun and missionary Mark Yun, they're all. So after total 28 years, we worked on two ministries. One is a campus mission, one is a CBF ministry. At that time, after 28 years, CBF member become 120 members.
Wow.
We are the number 2 in Chicago ministry, 120 members. At that time, Dr. John came as a general director. He saw our situation. He said, now it's children more than 120, you have to separate your mission. So we just put down campus mission. We concentrate CBF ministry with Shepherd team and missionary Bill Gates and other CBF fellowship members, so that we can develop for proper education for our children. This way we come about. And CBF now, I am a CBF man from the beginning to the end. Even though I retired, but I'm still substitute teacher, CBF teacher in Chicago CBF. So whenever they call me, I go as a substitute teacher, teaching our children. So that is our CBF history.
Wonderful. God used you for the past many plus years, and He's continuing to use you. Thank you so much for sharing and taking the time. Today we've learned so many wonderful things about the history of how family worship came to be, and how missionary Isaac really believed he received the calling from God for the past 40 years, and he's continuing to share his passion with us and help others to raise up many disciples, and basically our own children, which are the most important disciples that God has given us. So we've seen specifically why it's so important to have family worship during this time, as we are all at home during this COVID-19 coronavirus crisis. If you want to find out more information and learn more deeply about these lectures, Missionary Isaac has placed this on our ubf.org website, and you'll be able to find out all the more information about this. May God bless you and your family during this time. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.